Hey, 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 beautiful heart. What's vibing today? Dr. Denae, metaphysician, psychologist, here to do your energy forecast. Shout out to all the Scorpios tuning in. It is the beginning of Scorpio season. All right. I happen to absolutely love the scorpionic energy. I know not everybody does. Oh, Scorps, you guys can get such a bad rap. But I absolutely adore you. I have a couple of Scorpios very close to me in my life. So, anyways, moving on. This is an all signs reading. I am specifically just looking for energy and the energetic story. So, the energy lately since the new moon eclipse has been quite chaotic. Um, and I know you guys are feeling it because, wow, you guys have been keeping me booked and on my toes. So, yeah, let's get into it. Let's see what's going on. We are fast approaching the full moon lunar eclipse happening on the 28th, right before the 31st. So, yeah, lots of energy. And now with Scorpio season, Scorpio rules the hidden world, the underworld, if you want. For me, it's more the subconscious, very mysterious. They see a lot, they may not say a lot. There's a lot of that energy going on in the air right now. Again, this is not a Scorpio specific reading, but because it is happening at the beginning of Scorpio season, absolutely scorpionic energy is affecting you. I don't care what sign you are. All right. So there's that. Let's jump in and see what is going on here. All right. Overall energy starting out is sunshine. Light, passion, illumination, motivation don't dim. This energy that has been building up since last week. Remember how I just said it's really intense? There's this undertone of holding on to hope, but at the same time, that slipping or wanting to let it go. This overall energy of being tired. So, guys, this energy, depending on where you're at in your timeline, one, this may be affecting you right now. It may not have affected you yet, but it's coming, or you've already been through it. Doesn't matter because, again, this is energy that is out there, but depending on where you're at on your individual journey is because you're in a cycle will determine, hey, if you're like, I'm already going through that, or I already went through that, that's great. Stay tuned. We'll get to the rest of the energy. For those of you who are like, no, that's not what's happening yet. Pay attention. This is what's on its way. So you could be definitely feeling tired, lethargic, maybe losing interest or feel like you've lost interest in things that you have wanted to do or were doing, things like that. Others of you may be feeling very inspired, wanting to move forward on a project or an idea or whatever. Others of you may be teeter-tottering between both of those energies. You may get really inspired, want to act on it, and then get very tired, foggy, and like, maybe I don't want to. The key here is it doesn't matter where you're at on the timeline, because no matter where you're at, this advice plays out. And that is do not attach. Do not attach to the moment of the emotions, the thoughts, or the feelings. And what do I mean by not getting attached? Not getting attached, not creating a story around it, not beating yourself up. For gosh, I had all this on my list to do today, and I just feel like sitting here and staring at the wall. That type of stuff. Don't attach to any of it. Being in the flow and working with the universal laws and trying to manifest, you cannot have attachments. Attachments are what slows down the process. So if you've been trying to manifest and you're sitting there going, but Denae, it takes so long. But Denae, I've been doing this for so long, blah, 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 blah. You come to me with that, I'm going to say, yeah. And that's why it's taking you longer to get out of this, because that's all you keep thinking about. So knock it off. What you think about, you bring about. What you feel, you make real. How does that work? You get a thought. Then when you have a feeling that comes up and matches that thought, now you have a thought form, and it's the feeling that activates it. The feeling is what magnetizes to you what you feel the strongest about. That's what the secret didn't tell you. All right, moving on. Growth. Number 5, surrender to the process, simplify your healing and layers. 5, the energy of 5. I personally like it. I know a lot of people don't. And again, depending on who you ask and, where they're at in their journey, some will say, oh, 5 is challenging. It's about different challenges and changes and things like that goes on. Absolutely true. That is accurate. However, the other side of the 5 is also very divine. It is a very divine, loving, supportive, mother vibe, nurturing vibe to help you through change. Because if you notice, I don't know if you can see it with the light. I apologize if not. But she is laying on an energetic light rays of a butterfly wing. So yes, ushering in change. She's surrendering to that change. Many of us at various times on our journey, we don't even realize it because we're attached to the outcome or how we think we want it. Guys, attachment comes from ego. From the human side of life, monkey mind. Altered ego loves attachments. Your soul doesn't have attachments. But attachments literally stop your progress. It's like if you're on a ship or a boat, doesn't matter, and you're in open waters, but you drop that anchor, you attach to something, you're not going anywhere. You stop. And you wait. Same thing when you're manifesting. There is no room for attachments. Do not attach to what you feel or think that you want the outcome to be, because the universe is always conspiring in your favor, and it will always show up and show off when it's allowed to. And it's allowed to when you're in flow, when you have no attachment. When you say, yes, I want to be in a relationship. I want to experience a supportive partner, a loving partner, and you go through the different qualities, but you take out, it has to be Joe Bim Bob, or it has to be Sally Sue. That's attachment. That's subconsciously, you want to know what that is? Some of you may get upset. I don't care. I'm not here to appease your feelings. I'm here to give you the energy. You could take it or not. But what I was saying is, when you have this attachment, it is a subconscious energy of control and manipulation. You start thinking of ways to position, say things, do things, or whatever to get somebody else to do something. Honey, that's attachment. Let it go. You're in your own way. What you want wants you, The reason you don't have it right now is because you're not a vibrational match. Why aren't you a vibrational match? If you're resonating with, oh yeah, I'm pretty attached to what I want it to look like this. I want to be in a relationship with this. I want to be at this job. I want to be in this income bracket. Doesn't matter what it is. There is a process to manifesting. And one of the key processes, and this is where I see people stumble all the time, so you are not alone, but it's in letting go of that attachment. You absolutely have to have childlike wonderment and use your imagination to imagine what you want, feel into it. The moment you feel that you're in that experience, that's the moment you need to let it go and go, okay, I now know how that feels because I've conjured up the feeling. I can let go of the attachment, the who, what, when, where, and why, because I already know what it feels like. And I know the universe is always working out in my favor. The moment I set that intention, the universe is going out to bring it to me. My job is to become in alignment with it. How do I do that? How do I do my job? I let go of the attachment of what I want. Why? Because I already know I've put it out there. I know the universe has my back. I know altered ego right now is not my friend. It doesn't want me to move forward. It doesn't want me in a loving relationship. It doesn't want me having abundance. It doesn't want me happy and joyful. Altered ego is a program. It was born out of trauma, pain, miscommunication, misunderstanding, and it thrives in doubt and fear. It is a program. Hear me and hear me well. It doesn't get new updates. There is no version 15 or 5.0, whatever. There's none of that. It is what it is, and it will always play that same program. That same program. Doubt, fear, lack, limitation, I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. Literally, if that is resonating with you and you're going, oh my God, that's me. That's me. You are in your own way. Your goal, your focus through this full moon eclipse, closing out this energy, is to get a hold of your thoughts, not allow yourself to go back into that old programming, the old negative thoughts where you start beating yourself up. Well, so-and-so isn't paying me attention. It must be because they're with all these other people who are better than me. Any type of conversation, internal or external, where you're beating yourself up, you are not having a loving, compassionate, and gracious dialogue about yourself, you are bitch slapping your inner child. I'm not sugarcoating it. And yeah, that's what's going on. You need to stop it. You need to be your own cheerleader. You are what your inner child has always needed. It's not something outside of you. It's not somebody outside of you. You are what your inner child has always needed. This is about setting your boundaries and honoring and loving yourself, because nobody can come into your life and meet you at the level that you are trying to manifest until you've met yourself at that level. That's how you start to get in alignment with what you want. You set your intention, you do the inner work to raise your vibration. So now you're a energetic match to what you're magnetizing, because remember, your feelings magnetize. So you keep those feelings up, that high vibration, what you want, it's going to go out there. It's going to find that person, place, thing, job, house, whatever, on that vibrational level and bring it into your existence. Why is it not happening in a quicker time frame? Because you're wobbling and your thoughts and feelings go back to the past, the lack, what you don't have, and how long it's taken. That has more momentum. That's why it's taking longer. Get out of your way. Number 6, relating. Comparison, others' projections, and self-reliance. Guys, comparison is the thief of joy. Number one, you're comparing yourself to others that you honestly have no idea what's really going on. Stop gaslighting yourself. There is no room for comparison on this journey. That is an altered ego, matrix, self-sabotaging trap. Don't give into it. You are unique. Nobody else has your set of fingerprints. Why compare to somebody else who doesn't have the gifts inside of you that you have? You may not realize them yet. They may not realize their gifts. Stop comparison. Stop doing any type of comparison. It's mental masturbation. It gets you nowhere. Nine of Swords in reverse. I'm glad to see this in reverse because this past week, this energy, guys, the mind, altered ego, monkey mind has been out in full force. It's like it is throwing a raging party and inviting everybody to show up. And it has people just on this loop of these thoughts just going on and on. And these are not positive thoughts. These are those self-sabotaging, limiting thoughts that you cannot afford to be thinking. Then we have death and rebirth. This for me, this is my quintessential Scorpionic card. It's Scorpios love to internalize, tear things all the way down and rebuild. That's what this card is about. This process, this transformation and change that you've been on, especially through 2023, but many of you, this started 3 years ago, 4 for some. This is about major transformation. For this next week, make sure that you are being very diligent. You may even need to be a bit dominatrix to your own mind and your own thoughts. Make sure you're only thinking about the things that you want to manifest, not what anything that happened, whatever your experience was in the past. There's no room for that right now. You are rewriting your subconscious mind to bring in what you want. To bring in what you want, you have to keep that as your focus. For those of you who gaslight the fuck out of yourself and manipulate and control, whether you admit it or not, yes, I'm calling you out. I'm doing it in love. But if this resonates with you, this needs to stop. Where you internally, or maybe in speaking with somebody or talking about, well, I don't want this to happen because this has been my experience and I don't like this. Stop it, because the universe doesn't decipher that. It doesn't say, oh, my testy bestie over here doesn't like this. They don't want this. So let me give them the opposite. That's not how the universe works. The universe is very straightforward. You get what you put out. So if you don't want your past experiences, stop talking about it. Stop thinking about it. Stop being about it. Because that's literally why you're still having these experiences. You need to change up your thoughts. It starts with your thoughts, but your feelings are what activates it. So disciplining yourself to really only focus on that feeling of what it's going to, how you're going to feel when the manifestation comes in. And then letting it go, knowing that you set that intention, it is going to come. And if it's not coming in, you are the one who needs to get out of your own way. You need to re-examine your emotions. Guys, this right now, this energy is not the time to dig deep into your emotions of all the past hurt so you can analyze it. Now, for a small percentage of you, you may be in that earlier stage where you do need to analyze. For the majority, my collective and those of you who are drawn to me, you are not new to this inner path. You have been on this path for a while. So you know, you've gotten enough taste of the contrast. You know when your feelings are dragging you around. And, one moment you're feeling great and elated, and then somebody doesn't message you, or you don't hear back from that job in the time you thought you were supposed to. They never told you when, but you conjured one up. And now all of a sudden your emotions are rocked. That is attachment, and that will stop. It will cause you to stop in your place. So, the Queen of Cups here. Yes, absolutely. Pay attention to your feelings. Your feelings are your guide. Here's the thing. We have been ruled by our subconscious, whether you know that or not. That's where what you do, why you do it, all of that is stored there. And on this journey, rewriting your subconscious is key. But for many of you, that subconscious has been a very emotional place. Even for those of you who have shut off your emotions on purpose, hear me well. I get why we do it. And sometimes we need to do that. But when we awaken and we start looking at all of our beliefs and seeking for the truth and doing this inner work, we need to reopen our emotions, because having our emotions closed off, you are out of balance. You're living life from one side, which is too much in the intellect. You're not going to get anywhere. We can have, a million different thoughts a day. Just because you have a ton of thoughts doesn't mean they're all going to manifest. And just because you have a ton of thoughts doesn't mean you can't control your thoughts, because you actually can. When you put your attention on focus on what you want to choose to think about, that's a choice. That's what needs to happen. You do not need to give in to every thought you have. Choose your thoughts wisely on what you want to think about, and then the emotion is going to come up and meet that thought. Now you're in a powerful tool to manifest. We've got the moon. Yeah, a lot of, many of you are feeling this change. You're anticipating a change. There's anxiety coming up because you can't really see it. You want to go for it, but then there's also a part of you that's holding back. Okay. With the Three of Cups, Three of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Six of Wands, you have been learning your lessons. This is a time you're approaching a timeline, a season, however you want to call it in your life, where it's now about equal give and take. You have been the giver and have not really received. Why? Because remember how I just said, for some of you, you've been more in your intellect, trying to get things to happen based on analyzing, intellectual. Oh, well, if I do this, this needs to happen, blah, blah, blah. And you found out, wait a minute, this really isn't working. You are at the fork in the road. Do you want to continue on the same path, or are you ready to take a new journey? For those of you who are going through this time where friends, family, loved ones, coworkers, whatever, you're finding you're not resonating with them anymore. They may be leaving your life, or you're leaving their life. Know that this is part of the journey. And it will be okay, because the universe will bring other people who are more in alignment with you in. For a small portion of you, what I'm getting off of this Three of Cups is there is a dynamic, friendship, coworkership, whatever the dynamic is, it's a relationship type of dynamic, you're not getting out of it what you used to. There's some sort of change going on, which makes sense because we're all going through changes. But for those of you that are resonating with this, that have been asking, is it time for me to leave and go in a different direction? The answer is yes. It is. Follow your heart. The Hierophant, I love the Hierophant card. It is very much a Taurian energy card. Spiritual teacher, higher knowledge, all of these different things. You are being called to really come from your heart, not your head. And I know that can feel really wobbly and scary. And yes, you want to go for it, but then you pull back. This is literally saying, hey, it's time. It's time to choose a new direction. It's time to move forward. No more choosing the old path, the old ways. No more solving problems or making decisions in the old way. It's time to give that up. 17. Path, the Lovers, humor, choices, intelligence, and 14. Path, the Empress, creative endeavor, nurturing, fertility. Yeah. You are at the precipice of making a choice. Make the choice that honors you. You invest in you because you are destined for success. You just have to get out of your own way. Nurture yourself right now. If you feel like you need to rest, rest. Don't beat yourself up. If you're more in the energy, you're inspired, you need to get something done, do it. Follow your heart right now because you are being guided to a whole new timeline. It's what you've wanted, it's what you've been working towards, but it's also what you're repelling because you keep picking up this old energy. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you got something out of that. I do have some specials going on. If you are interested in getting some time with me or having a personal reading with me, space is extremely limited, but all that information is down below in the description box. All right, guys, sending you oceans and oceans of love from my heart to yours. Namaste. Bye-bye.